Hello and welcome to this episode of Simply Saturday. My name is Julie and this is Stamp with Julie Baum. As you know, sometimes I have made a card in preparation for filming a Simply Saturday episode, and sometimes I only have the idea and I'm gonna go from there kind of live as I film. And so this card falls somewhere in the middle. I did a similar card, but it did not meet my own qualifications for Simply Saturday because it just took a little bit more time. So I am going to show you that card. But right now I am going to create a card that's fast and easy, and I want to show you the card that inspired me. I recently offered a card swap and hosted that. That is now complete. All of those cards have been shuffled and resent back out. But one of the cards that came in, I have to show you this one, is this one from my friend Desiree, my stamping friend Desiree, and I asked her for permission to mention her by name and then use this card as inspiration for Simply Saturday. So here we go. All right, I am beginning with a piece of thick white cardstock. This is 5.5 inches by 8.5, and it's scored in the middle at 4.25. That is my card base. Then for the next layer, instead of cardstock, which Desiree's card used cardstock for the next layer, and so did my long version that I'm going to show you. But on this one, I cut the next layer out of paper. This is paper from this packet of beautiful fall papers called Gathering Together. So I went in there, I wanted to find an early espresso color paper, and I mean the green is absolutely gorgeous too. But I was looking for the dark brown, so there we have it. And as you can see, I cut this out of here. Let me show you that die. These are the Textured Notes dies. And I'm using two different sizes. So this largest one here is what I use to cut out my designer series paper. And then this next size down, I used to cut out a piece of basic white. All right, now, while I've got these sitting here, I also used this die right here to cut out a piece of basic white, and we're going to do some stamping on that little piece as well. Okay, so let's put our dark brown piece on. And I've got this green and gold ribbon here. This is Mellow Moss and Gold. I'm not sure if we're going to use this or if we're going to use some colored twine, but we'll decide when we get there. All right, I'm going to glue this piece on. Because I had a Christmassy event, and I had a lot of because of that, I had a lot of Christmas papers out and Christmas stamp sets and so forth. So the last couple weeks of Simply Saturday episodes have actually been Christmassy, even though we haven't done a lot for fall. And honestly, at the time of today's recording, it's still the middle of October. We haven't even had Halloween, but I've been putting out a lot of Christmas things, and I thought today I would rewind a little bit. We still have plenty of time, even by the time this airs here on YouTube, to do some fall or some Thanksgiving stamping. Okay, there's our brown piece. This piece is going to go next, but this is going to get some decorating on it. We're going to do some stamping, so we're going to do that right now. All right, now what I want to do is create kind of a spray of my colors over here to the left. Again, inspired by Desiree's card. The first thing that I'm going to do is start with a large leaf stamp, and this stamp set is Gathering Moments. I do have the bundle, and so it's the stamps and the dies. Now, I won't be using any of these particular dies on today's card, but at the end of the video, when I show you my other version, I did use the dies. All right, but with our fast and easy, I thought I would give this a try with just stamping. and not die cutting. Again, we did our die cutting of our couple of our layers, but we're not die cutting any of the stamped images. Okay, so I'm going to go with a Cajun Craze large leaf up here in the left corner. And then crushed curry is next with a little bit smaller leaf. And I'm going to go way up here like that. I wanted it to go way up by the edge. All right, let's use Old Olive. So a little bit of advice. So this part is a little tricky because I'm not using any die cuts. If I was using die cuts, I could layer them and create my little focal point. Because I'm not using die cuts, and I also chose to not mask anything simply for the extra time that takes, you have to kind of be mindful of where you're putting your little pieces, because stamping things on top of other things is not going to always come out looking so good. So I do want to leave a little bit of space, and I'm not trying to stamp a bunch on top of each other. So let's do a green here. This might overlap on the yellow a little. Oh, it didn't, so that's fine. And then I'm going to do one more green coming down this way. Okay, already just the colors and the leaves look pretty, don't they? All right, next I think that I'm going to go with Early Espresso and tuck a couple of these little, I don't know what these are, these little accent berry round branchy thing. I don't know. If somebody knows what these actually are, you could tell me. I might still call them little berry things. All right, and I'm going to tuck one up in here. I don't mind if this overlaps a teeny bit. And one over here. I don't think that this one's going to show, but let's go ahead and tuck one here and see what happens. Okay, now I'm not worried about this looking like it's floating off in the middle, because we are going to put our little sentiment across here, and I think it's going to be fine. All right, so let's stop there. Now, I have a piece of Early Espresso cardstock. Let's see what I did. I cut this 3/4 of an inch by 4 inches. And before I add it to the card, I'm just going to do a little fishtail or a little flag end. So let's do that. This usually doesn't take so many tries. I can't see what I'm doing. It's a cloudy day here today in Southern California. We actually had rain today, as strange as that is. And my working surface here is right by my window, and I don't have a lot of light today. So, okay, making the banner end. We did that. Then I'm going to take this piece. This is a little strip found in that Gathering Together packet of paper, and I'm going to do the banner end on this side too. Let's see if I can do it in one step like I'm supposed to be able to. Snip in the center, then you go from the corner to the center. There we go. That's what's supposed to happen. And from this corner to the center, which I always feel like I'm cutting backwards, so I just flip mine around and go this way. That's how it's supposed to work without all that fidgeting with it. Okay, this piece is going to get layered onto this piece. Let's do that right now. Oh, let's talk about how big this is. This started out at 3/4 of an inch by 4 also, but then I did use my trimmer and trim off a teeny edge of this. So it is wider than a 1/2 inch. It ended up being 5/8 of an inch, only because I wanted a teeny bit of that brown to show. Do you see how that worked? And then I'm going to pull that banner end back to the left so that both of them are showing. And that means I can actually snip the edge of this off. So you could leave it hanging or you can snip it. It doesn't matter. All right, a little bit of glue next on the back of this one. And we'll attach that to this. This is the end that I want to show just right. Let me get up here a little bit more where you can see. There we go. That worked. Okay, then that thin white piece that we die cut, we talked about it at the beginning, this is going to end up going on top of that, okay? Now, on Desiree's card, she had a perfect sentiment and it was nice and long and it filled this. Because I didn't want to add another stamp set to today's Fast and Easy card, I stayed with this. And the only one that's tiny enough is the Thankful for You. So that's what I'm going to use with my early espresso ink. And I can see that my stamp is mounted really, really crooked. So I'm going to remove it from the block. And I'm going to reposition it. See if I can get it a little bit straighter. All right, that's going to be better. All right, and I'm going to aim for maybe not quite the middle, a little bit to the right of center is what I'm going for. Centered between top and bottom, but a little bit to the right of center this way. So let's go for right there. It's tricky. It's hard to tell if it's really going to fit. Okay, that works. I'm happy with it. Okay, let's take this and add it to our other strips that we've already prepared. And I want this right end to be nestled right here in that banner end. And the reason that I decided to do that is because Desiree did that on her card and I liked it. Because this white strip could have gone further to the left. I'm trying to pick it up. There we go. And even it out. Okay, that was perhaps the most finicky part of this whole card, getting that right where I wanted it. There we have it. Now, this is kind of thick. It's a little bit bulky. And so only because of that, I'm going to attach it to my card with some tear and tape instead of using my liquid glue. The tear and tape holds really, really well. And so let's just put, I'm going to put 2 strips on here. And I did just tear that with my fingers, but that is not my favorite way to do it. I really prefer to use my metal ruler because I like how straight and clean of an edge it gives me. I just like it better. That's a little Amazon find. Anytime I show this kind of stuff, extra stuff that we don't sell through Stampin' Up, I have a link for below the videos. When you pop open that description box below the video, you can find the dimensions to my pieces of paper for the project. You can find links. Okay, let's go ahead and attach this here. Oh yeah, look at how cute that is. Now I probably would have completely cased Desiree's card as in copy and share everything, but I did not have the stamp set that she used. So I'm casing, the other version is copy and selectively edit. So that's what we've done today. And I used what I had after being inspired by what she did. Okay, let's attach this onto our card base that's already prepared. Oh, I like how that brown paper looks kind of weathered. What do you think? See if I can straighten it out a little bit. All right, I think it's just beautiful. We're going to put one more little bit right here as an embellishment. So this is where I wasn't sure if I wanted to try the ribbon, which I did not use on my other version, and just put a ribbon bow here. It's definitely an option. It could also go this way and trim the tails. It's not my favorite. All right, so instead I'm going to go back to my twine and I'm going to try something that I have not done before. We'll try it right here as I'm filming. The first thing I'm going to do is take 12 inches of my green twine. This looks like baker's twine, but it actually feels more like the linen thread. This is like dyed linen thread, and it comes in a combo pack with the two colors, Old Olive and Early Espresso. All right, so I'm going to use my green, and then I'm going to make a little bundle. So I'm going to just kind of figure eight this back and forth. A couple times. All right, so I'm pinching it with my left hand. I'm using my right hand to loop it back and forth like a figure eight until I have this cute little bundle. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I should have cut my brown piece before I did this. So what I'm going to do is grab a binder clip. I'll show you. I have bunches of sizes of these. This is my smallest one. I have really fat ones for in the old days when we used to have paper real estate files. We had to bind things together. Okay, I'm using that just to hold it, okay? There's nothing fancy about this. It's just that I need my two hands because I want to go ahead and stretch out a piece of this, pulling it to get the kinks out, and then cut it, all right? Otherwise, I didn't need this at all. So cut your second piece before you loop your first piece so that you're ready. Now I'm going to take this piece. Like I said, I've never done this little treatment of twine before, but I am going to do it. And I cannot tell if that's what Desiree did. I should ask her. I think she might have used embroidery floss, which would be nice and soft and would be an easy way to do this. Whereas I'm using our twine, but this might be the method that she used. All right, so I'm just gonna secure it in the middle like that. You saw me wrap it around a couple of times, and now I'm gonna tie those ends in a knot to hold it. So we'll see. We'll see if this is a little embellishment trick that we like or never do again. Okay. This will help you. When you do that, I should have left this tail longer, then it would be easier to tie my knot, but I didn't. So I'm just going to undo it. It'll be faster. I was going to try to hold it with my binder clip. Let's just undo it, begin again. Okay, I'm going to leave a longer tail this time, like that. Wrap 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I went around the bundle 4 times. Oop, the last one came off. Hold on. There. Okay. And then I'm going to use those ends to tie into a knot. Having somebody close by to hold this would be a great thing to do. Instead of trying to do it with all your fingers getting in there. Oh, I did it. Okay. All right, so I've got my green bundle. I tied it together in the middle with the brown, and then I'm just going to snip the ends off of this. And let's see what it looks like on our card. Okay, we're going to take it over here and stick it right in that space. It's cute. Okay, I think that I would play with that concept. There, that looks better turned over that way. Let's attach that with a couple of glue dots and we will wrap this up. Okay, between centering that and getting our little bundle of linen thread or twine, those were the parts that took the longest, but only because it was the first time I ever did it. you know that the second time it would go much faster. All right, I'm going to pick up my glue dot on the back of my bundle, like so. And then I had an extra one that I picked up with my tool, my take your pick tool, because it's a little bit thick, and so I want to make sure that it's going to hold on here really good. So there's one, and then this one, and stick it on there. I'm going to zhuzh it up a little bit, like so. And there we have it. I think we should put a little stamp on the inside, don't you? All right, let's just grab something that's here and already inked. Let's use this with the green right here in the corner. And I'll do a second one without re-inking, like so. Now the inside looks finished. And there we have our fast and easy card for today. Now, let me show you the first version that I did after I was inspired by Desiree's card. So on this one, I did not do any stamping on the white piece here. All I did was my stamping on white scraps, and then I die cut them. So I used, let's grab those dies. I did a Cajun Craze leaf and a crushed curry leaf. I did two of these, the green, in Old Olive. I did this one and this one. There's actually three of those little round berry things. So I did two out of stamped in early espresso, and I did one more that was stamped in pecan pie, if you can see that one. And then I did this element a little bit different. So I took 4 lengths of this, 2 green and 2 brown, all 4 8 inches long, held them together as if they were one strand and tied a bow, and that gave me this bow. So you can see this version or the version that I just did, just 2 options to kind of change it up a little bit, but with the same product. So there you have it. You have the die cut version and the all stamped version. On this one, I did use early espresso cardstock for that layer. And on this one, I used the designer series paper, which I think came out really nicely. All right, let's go back to our inspiration. Desiree, thank you so much for this card. And from that, we got these 2 cards. Thanks so much for watching today. And until next time, happy stamping.